Welcome back to the All I Ever Wanted podcast. I'm Chris, got producer Mac behind the camera. This is going to be a quick episode because this made me really happy. What we're going to do here is I'm going to tell you a few of the different things that have come up over the last few months that I've been talking to a lot of the mentees that we've had through our programs. We don't charge people to sit down, talk to them, help them become better people. But a few of our, we'll call them mentees, members of what we do, have been reporting some incredible progress in their life. It doesn't necessarily have to be money, it doesn't have to be monetary, but they're running a better life. Typically the money side of things is much easier to quantify and you can understand it better. So I'm going to rattle off a lot of these, and some of them are going to shock you. Some are just smaller steps, but let's be completely honest. A win is a win. If you're better today than you were yesterday, I call that a win. So we're going to celebrate a whole bunch here. We're going to start with the most successful one. And we're going to taper back, but just know they are all as important. Better today than we were yesterday. We've been telling you that since the beginning of us going online. I guess a quick piece of knowledge is that right about the time of the pandemic, when that started, we just wanted to be an example for our community because people were hurting. They weren't in the best spots. So a lot of people lost their jobs, income was going down. I'm friends with, a whole bunch of our friends who, they had small businesses, and we come from the small business entrepreneur community, so we really didn't like seeing them, facing hard times. We basically started programs to educate people, try and get people through, keep people with a better mindset than they otherwise would have been in. But I'm not going to go into that because you know what? We're past all that. Pandemic's over. We got people hitting the pavement, putting in all that effort, applying all that knowledge that they sat down and acquired from us. So let's rattle a few of these off. Now, the first one is the exceptional circumstance, but you've always got that 5% of any group that is going to just completely excel. She had come to us, just finished her schooling, wasn't even 21 yet, and had just gotten the job she thought was going to take her for the rest of her career because it was exactly in the field she went to get an education in. And then unfortunately the pandemic hit. Everything got shut down. She got laid off 3 weeks after having that job. Sat down, restructured the entire life, figured out where her aptitudes were. I don't like that word motivation, but we gave her what she needed to hear to know that, okay, things aren't crap just because your predetermined career isn't going the way you want. Until it can get back on track, let's work on your side hustle. I'm not even going to bother saying which direction she went because that's irrelevant. It's knowledge and then how you apply it. Well, I'm going to report back and say that as of the end of November 2022, she's retired and she turned 23 on the 28th of December. 7 figures invested, 2 properties, and 2 more that she's got as Airbnbs. I'm not saying that's how she got to retirement. I'm just telling you that that's what it's resulted in. And she doesn't even want to stop working. Now she's just pursuing things in different countries, going out and enjoying her life, and she just turned 23. The second one, this is a good one because this is someone who, right from the get-go, another female, so I don't want to hear that men have it easier, women have it easier. I don't want to hear any gender stuff here. But I'm going to report that the first couple here, they're all female and they all have the biggest wins. So she's a dental hygienist. And basically she had come and sat down with us, same time, right around the beginning of the pandemic, about May 2020, and said, I really want to learn how to progress my life. I have full-time at one clinic, I work part-time at other clinics, and just the more I work, I'm taking in less because the more you make, you get a higher tax bracket here in Canada. So we sat down and we restructured it and said, you should start, your main income, the clinic that you work at, take that income as a person, but for all the other clinics that you work at, you go start yourself a business and you contract to them. You'll provide more value to them because now they don't have to pay you benefits. You control all of that, but then you start learning the entrepreneurial world of running everything through a corporation and the tax benefits and how to restructure it to keep as much money as you can within your hands, within your corporation's grasp to reinvest. That led into her seeking more knowledge during the last 2.5 years on the smaller things, like budgeting, compound interest. The next point that leads into was she listened to our mortgage seminar, which was free. And we explained what is going to happen in the world of mortgages, where interest rates are going over the next few years. So back in 2020, we talked to large groups of people and told them, yeah, it's great to get a mortgage right now, but understand, while it may go a little lower interest rates, they're going to be back up near 5.5% by the end of 2022. 2 years ago, we were telling people this, and she went and locked it in. She got 2.5% locked in. Now, on an average $400,000 house, like in our city, that 4% increase, because right now it's about 6.25, 6.3, would be $16,000 a year that she's saving on her mortgage by just acquiring knowledge, listening, computing, turning it into life. So that's a huge win as far as I'm concerned, because she started a business, is already reaping the benefits of the tax structure within a business. She's got her solid foundation in her 9 to 5, which keeps her bills paid, food on the table. Everything else is growing. And I've recently found out she just acquired another rental property. That is a whole bunch of win right there. That is beautiful. Next one down the list. Now the female, she went a completely different approach. She was working full time, taking out odd extra shifts and stuff like that in the service industry. We sat down. It wasn't going to be more of she wasn't going to follow an educational route, but what she was willing to do was work harder or longer than most other people. This is a person in her 20s. So after we sat down, she came to, I don't like calling them seminars, they were informational, whatever you want to call it, sit downs. We talked with people all the way through the pandemic. And she started getting a second job, and then got a third job. A lot of people are like, I'm not putting in that kind of effort. I'm not putting in an effort above average. Why would I do that? Well, good, you can have an average life. But she now has full-time work that gives her overtime, and 2 other jobs that fill in all the rest of her free time. So she's not out partying, spending money, doing that stuff that holds you back in your 20s. She's now paying off all of her debt to the tune of about $2,000 a month. She figures she'll be debt-free in the next 4 months. But you know what that leads to? That's $2,000 a month. From that point on, that she knows that she can earn, receive, now she can invest it all in her 20s. Those kind of dollars if you invest properly, especially through what we're about to go through, will yield retirement in 6 to 8 years. You can argue with me all you want. We've seen it happen dozens of times. Everyone we know makes most of their money in an economic downturn because they use their money properly and they don't have a bunch of high interest debt. So that's a massive win. That is just someone who's trading time for money, which isn't the best way to get wealthy, but it is the best way to see results quickly. Next one. We got a friend. This is one I personally helped with. I went in and helped restructure his business. I'm not going to tell you what he does, but he had a successful product, a successful idea, but very poor management. When you have poor management, you can't really direct your employees to work their best either. So you need a really good team if you're not going to be there 24/7, or you have to be off-site a bit. Went in, restructured the business, restructured the corporation. His scalability now was absolutely incredible. So that was just time and knowledge. Didn't charge for this because it was a friend. Asked for help. I spent 2 weeks with him. And then basically every quarter over the pandemic, we sat down, discussed new challenges, and kept progressing. January, last month, he reported his first 6-figure month. 6 figures worth of earnings. Wow, that's incredible. This is a business that was barely doing $30K a month when we first started. He didn't have to lay anybody off. He just acquired knowledge and helped build up the business. Not only did he have a 6-figure month in January, he's already on track to beat January's total with less days in February. And we're going into a recession. Proof that it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, what you're selling, your product, service, or idea. If you're delivering it the best way that you possibly can, it doesn't matter how much competition you have, you will always win. What's the next one? Oh, another person that sat down with us May or June 2020. Had a lot of debt, mid 5 figures. He was just stepping away from the people in his life that were maybe not the best influences. Not going to say what they did, but they were definitely leading him down the wrong path. He used to dress up in all gold chains, try and show off a nice watch, high payments on his cars to look like he was top G and all that kind of thing. But it wasn't going to get him anywhere. It just cost money to look like he was winning. Through a series of sit-downs and talks, trying to get him away from that mentality and into his hustle, focusing on building his brands. It's a slightly longer process, but guess what? He paid off over $40,000 worth of debt in under 2 years. And as of yesterday, he reported to me that he's actually 5 figures of savings in the positive. While savings isn't the best way, you're never going to get wealthy saving money. That showed a gigantic, almost 6-figure change in his life in about 2 years' time. If these people can do this, so can you. I'm just citing the examples that I've heard from in the last 2 months of sitting down with our mentees. Like, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just telling you, with the right leadership, you go sit at the right tables, this can be you. Because this was me. I wasn't doing things right in my 20s. Do I look like I'm not doing it right now? I just listened to the right people. What else we got here? Oh, got another girl. I think it was May 2020, same time. Came and sat down with us. Single mom, just lost her job because the pandemic hit. Had next to nothing in her bank account. It was under 10K. That was it. That's what she had to make it through COVID with. And are we allowed to say COVID? Whatever. We'll blank it out if we have to. So we sat down and I said, okay, first thing you're going to do is just think of something you like doing. Because you say you don't want to get back into the 9 to 5. You, in your head, know that you're better than that. You're destined for things greater than just a complacent 9 to 5. Find a product that you like, that you would like to bring to market. So she thought about it, kept having more discussions. You're going to start a business. You're going to learn the difference between a corporate asset that comes off your taxable earnings, the difference between that and having a salary, which is when you acquire what you want after you've been taxed. It's 2 completely different things. Not going to get into it here. But once you understand it, you understand the point of starting a business instead of just 9 to 5ing it for salary and income. Through the rest of 2020, she focused on trying to build a business. It never really got successful, but she learned the benefits of having a business. She went and got a little more education in an area that she thought was where she would like to be involved in the future, and then directly applied that knowledge and got herself a really good job. Now, yes, that is a paycheck, but what that did is it made sure the necessities of life, rent, food, child was taken care of, which allowed her to take in her free time and developing her consulting business in the same field that she could do in her off hours, but also brand while she was doing her 9 to 5. That's 2021, going into 2022. Now she's got a 6-figure job and another 6 figures worth of consulting, mentoring. It's 3 years in May of 2023, and that's how quickly that change happened. I'm broke, I got a child. Now, I got 2 6-figure incomes, and I would like to make $1 million in the next year. Someone who understands that kind of change, I would never doubt someone if they said they wanted a 7-figure income year. Because clearly, if in 3 years they can learn a completely different mindset that's going to put them in a situation where money isn't really an object anymore, it's just something that comes in from doing the process right, don't ever doubt someone with a mindset like that. What else we got? 7 new businesses that started because they talked to us and got a bit of financial knowledge, a bit of earning business knowledge, taxation knowledge, just even the process to get incorporated or trade named. 7 businesses that are all doing better month after month. Yes, there's going to be struggles. Yes, there's going to be hard times, but we work with them every single month or whenever they have an issue, whenever they have, they want to figure out how the best way to re-up their business and deliver a better product to their clients, customers, whatever. We sit down and we talk to them again. 7 of those businesses are month over month, or at least quarter over quarter, growing during the pandemic. Huge win. 5 of those businesses, and this is something I've just heard in the last couple of weeks, are already having sales versus any other year their best first quarter. This is the year we're going into a recession. They're already claiming this is their best first quarter. And another one, a really simple, huge win. And this wasn't even an expensive house. It was I'm trying to remember, I think it was a $290,000 condo. They locked it in after listening to our mortgage seminar at 2.2%. It's almost $300K. They had actually had a decent down payment, so $250,000, not paying 4 extra percent. You can do the math. That's another huge win. So I'm going to end it there. I could, if I wanted to, have written down all of the ones that we're hearing back from our mentees or just our group or whatever you want to call the people that came to us looking for a better way. We're not saying that we're the most intelligent people in the world, but we're always willing to share our information. So if you ever have any questions, please throw it in the comments of any of our videos. We will answer. We're not here, we're not all talk, we're not looking to charge you anything for this. We just want to see people do better, because the more success stories we have, the more positive energy gets sent out around there. And trust me, when you get to the point where you're retired and you own all of your time, you have nothing but free time, yeah, it's going to be fun to travel, it's going to be fun to experience new things in the world. But then you're going to want to do things better for the people around you. And then you'll understand why we do what we're doing. You're going to want to pass on all this information that you learned that can help your best friends, your partners, your children do better in their life. That's all this is all about. So I'm going to end that here. This got a little longer of an episode than I wanted to do, but you know what? This is the kind of stuff that makes us feel really good about what we've been doing over the last 3 years. So I'm going to thank everyone who reached out to us to better their lives, because it turns around making us feel really good about this kind of stuff. But for now, I'm Chris. That's producer Mac. All I Ever Wanted podcast. Winning every day, better every day. We're out.